What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're here at Lake Julian Disc Golf Course. This one's fun because it's been a while. I have been kind of looking at this mold for probably about 4 years and just thinking, oh, that looks fun. But now I have a reason to try it out because the wrath is good, but when it gets windy, it does kind of exemplify that 2 fade versus the 3 fade that I'm kind of looking for out of the slot. So we are trying out the Innova Champion Orc. Now, granted, it says 10-4 -1-3. However, it's almost accentuated as much as the PD, but the old PD mold was a little bit more of a shallower one, so this might work. It also has that Innova pop top dome, 170 grams versus 174 versus Neutron. So let's go ahead and throw the Wrath first, and then we'll throw the Orc. A little bit of crosswind coming off the right. We're gonna throw from the long pad here. Good and stable. That crosswind, like I said, coming off the right is gonna help it to stable out like that. Wow, that's kind of what I expected more out of a PD. That didn't even do the -1. Now, the hyzer with the crosswind, but wow, that was more stable than I expected. Now, this is a hole when I first filmed the Wrath video, I was like, wow, that's really far. But then both of the PDs ended up shorter. And what I did not really think about then was that because the Wrath went so far, it's probably not going to be overstable when there's a headwind. And turns out, just not that stable when there's a headwind. It just holds. It's like a laser beam straight disc. I may move this down and pull the Insanity out because the Insanity is just a little bit too understable. But the Wrath is about that right stability for that middle spot. So we'll try the Wrath out there, but I don't think it's stable enough. I think this Orc might be. We're gonna go forehand. Wrath took the first point though. That's really good. Now we're gonna go Orc, which had just a tiny bit of the Innova flashing. See if I can get that off. Mostly smooth now. That is more stable. That is a good bit more stable. Wow, I like that though. I didn't like how the Wrath didn't really seem to dump. It's not a Firebird dump by any means. It's definitely more of a pushier dump, especially with that pop top dome. I don't know what Innova did with the PD mold. I know that they modified it slightly to make a slightly straighter version for the Infinite Roman, but I wonder if they also retooled it slightly to just make a Wrath or an Orc. This is shaping up to be a really good disc. So based off of distance-wise, the Wrath actually went further than the shot I wanted. The Orc was right at the basket. So what we're gonna do here is Orc has the box. It is 1-1 right now. This hole, well, actually on almost every hole out here at Julian, they've moved the basket into the longest placement. So here, it's like another 200 feet past the short pin. So it's like 370 almost. We're gonna see if we can make it there. Orc has the box. and it's been pretty stable so far. I'm gonna give it some flat, maybe even a touch of drift on a backhand and see if we can't get all the way up there. I think I'm just left, maybe 25 left. I gave that flat and kind of popped it with my wrist to give it, if it wanted to turn, it was gonna turn, and it does not look like it wants to turn. Well, I hit the guide wires with the wrath. So that is 2 points to the Orc, 1 point to the wrath. And I wasn't anticipating hitting those guide cables. Oh wow, I put a dent in one. I wasn't anticipating on hitting them, but that's fresh. So we'll see how stable this wrath is after this. When I film with putters and the baskets around to the right, I'm normally like, yeah, if I hit the guide cables, we'll just rethrow it. I didn't say it, so I'm not gonna do it because I was anticipating making it clean with the driver I had in my hand, and turns out, well, yeah, Orc got all the way up there, but it is a mash. This hole is about 470 feet. I cannot reach it with these discs. I'm gonna give them a flex and see if we can get as much distance as possible, but they need to stay safe in the fairway. Orc has the box. That never came back in bounds. That was way too low for that shot. If you give it the air, it is stable, but it's not Orc stable, because I turned that and it was super low, and it somehow came out for the skip that was going to bring it back in balance, but did not catch that right side. It was a bad shot that almost turned lucky, but I think we are going to give it to the wrath because it was actually where I wanted the shot. All right, it is 2-2 right now. Wrath has the box. We're going to see if we can't get another good flex to the Orc here. Big flex. I want more turn out of it, out of the wrath than I did on the last hole. So I may actually have to come over it a little bit, but this one's a touchy stability for me. That's better. Now, see if we can get the same out of the Orc. And the wrath is very flat. This is very domey. They're very different types of discs, but I think this one might have a touch more stability and might be the closest thing to a PD I've ever thrown. It wasn't a PD. Oh, that's beautiful. That's gorgeous. And then more aggressive of a finish than we saw out of the wrath, which is why the wrath is a good disc, but it's not quite what I want. It just doesn't have that bite at the very end. I can get the long turning drifty shot of the PD, but every single time it's always going to bite. That Orc is proving that it's going to bite. And well, flight numbers are kind of weird with Innova. For the most part, if you buy a max weight disc or close to max weight in Star or Champion plastic, it's going to be probably a step more stable than the flight numbers would indicate, possibly 2 or 3, depending on the mold. Wow, that's a really nice Orc. I almost said PD because it was so good. The Orc is up 1 over the wrath. We're going to go backhand, hyzer to flat shot here. So I'm going to hit him hard on a baby hyzer. If I know the wrath in, it's going to flip up to laser beam straight with a consistent finish. This says it should flip up, but it hasn't really shown it too much today. So let's see. Soft hyzer out here about the last, or about the big tall pine tree just above the power lines. That's perfect. Maybe a hair stand up, but if I torque a PD, it stands up about that much too. So that was really good. Oh, that's too high. Hey, well, Orc with 2 points up. We're gonna go play out the last hole, but Orc is gonna win this battle today, and kind of excited because I've been excited to throw Orcs for a while now, and I never really picked one up. So now we've got an Orc. Now we're gonna throw an Orc. This is amazing. It flies almost exactly like a PD, maybe a tiny bit straighter than a PD, but honestly, you know, wind can do things to any disc. I do want to see how it's going to handle up and stand up into some more intense headwinds, but it is Champion plastic and it's got that pop top dome, so it might still be really stable. Let's go ahead and throw one more shot. I think there's only one hole left to close it out on. You know, throwing this has made me question whether or not I've been actually looking for the right disc. Do I need to be looking for Discmania PDs? Do I need to be looking for Innova made Discmania PDs? Or do I need to be looking for what may actually be the original PD mold? Because walking over here, I just did a little quick Google check, and January 24th, 2004, the Orc was PDG approved. July 2nd, 2008, 4 years later, the PD was approved. So, and that was the Innova made PD, not the Discmania made PD. That new one was in like 2021 or something like that. So, should I have been looking for Orcs this whole time? Do I need to be throwing Orcs more? Wow, this is a really good disc, and the PD is probably more of a modification of the Orc mold more than the Orc is a modification of the PD mold. Now that we think about it, now that we look at the dates, the Orc is going to win out this video. It has 2 up. Let's see if it gets a 3rd on this hole. We're going to see if we can't get a flex to drift between the poles. Almost had it. Stabled out and then it faded. So, I mean, that's about where the PDs, stable, brand new PDs end up for me. Oh, I hit the pole. I hit the Mando pole on the right. I heard the metal. You guys won't be able to see it. Probably not even able to hear it, but I could hear it. That is interesting. And now do you see where I'm coming from with it's just not, the Wrath is good, but it's like straight PD. It's not quite stable enough to be a stable PD. So hopefully you guys enjoy content like this. If so, please make sure to like the video. If you want to see new stuff, make sure to comment all of that down below. Please make sure to subscribe. It helps you guys out with these subscriber-only giveaways. Definitely helps me out as well. Oh, and if you want to be automatically entered into monthly giveaways, check out the memberships. Until next time, see you out on the course.